Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Katie Nicholas, Senior Manager of Innovation at RILA. And on behalf of RILA, I'm excited to welcome everyone to this awards webinar, the second in our Retail Asset Protection webinar series, where we are presenting content that was originally planned to be featured at our annual conference last month. While we are disappointed that we weren't able to be with many of you at that in-person event, we are excited to be able to share the content to a wider group than just those who would have been able to attend. RILA's innovation work is focused on introducing cutting-edge technology across retail organizations, not just in asset protection. RILA's Retail Innovation Center is driving similar efforts in supply chain, human resources, legal, sustainability, environmental compliance, and other areas. The RIC leverages its investor and startup networks to help make all this possible. But to help us moderate today's awards webinar, we are excited to have Jake Gillette, currently a Senior Regional Asset Protection Manager for Meijer Stores. Before starting with Meijer earlier this month, Jake held roles at Dick's Sporting Goods as Loss Prevention Director, at Gap Inc. as Director Loss Prevention Manager, and at the Bon-Ton as Loss Prevention Manager. Jake holds his loss prevention certification through the Loss Prevention Foundation and Physical Security Professional certification through As Is International. Jake also serves in the industry as a chair of the Crimes Against Business Committee for RILA and as a member of RILA's Asset Protection Conference Steering Committee. So Jake, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Katie. Good morning and good afternoon to people all over the country. I'm excited to moderate RILA's 5th Annual Asset Protection Innovation Awards. This is really important work that RILA is doing on behalf of the retail industry, and we're excited AP is playing a leading role. For the first time, only startups were invited to apply for this year's Innovation Awards. So you won't see any of your traditional solution providers, partners showcased here today. That doesn't mean that they aren't on the leading edge of technology. Actually, to the contrary, the industry's longstanding solution providers continue to develop innovative technology to help retailers address their most pressing challenges. Instead, we are limiting this year's applicants to startups to introduce younger companies to the retail AP industry so they can better understand retailers' top technology needs today. On behalf of RILA and our RTech AP Advisory Council, I want to congratulate the finalists on making it this far. You should be very proud of the work that you're doing and the ways in which you're innovating on behalf of the retail industry. From among nearly 25 applicants, the AP Startup Innovation Awards, a panel of top industry executives, helped narrow the pack to 4 finalists. They are DaVinci Industries, Pijl, Third Eye, and Scylla. Over the next 50 minutes, you will hear from each panelist who will tell you in 7 minutes how their solution addresses total retail loss. Each will be strictly held to 7 minutes. The purpose of the pitch is not to try to tell you everything there is about their solution, but rather to pique your interest enough that you want to contact them directly to learn more and give you enough information to cast your vote for the single Innovation Award winner. Following the last pitch, we'll have a brief question and answer. After that, retailer attendees will have the opportunity to vote on your mobile device for technology that you think is the most innovative, promising in its ability to address total retail loss, seamless in its integration into store and distribution center environments, influence on the customer experience, and any other criteria you think is important to consider. Look for instructions on how to vote on the screen following all the pitches. Voting will remain open for 2 weeks following this webinar for anyone who can't cast their vote here today. And sorry to vendors who have joined the webinar, voting is open only to retailers. The Startup Award winner will be announced on Friday, June 26th, so mark your calendars. Be sure to look for more information on how to get in touch with today's finalists in an email following this webinar. But first, let's check out our finalists. First up, we have DaVinci Industries, who will be showcasing its front-facing hook system with built-in tracking technology.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Valuis. I'm the president and founder of DaVinci Industries, and I'm here to talk to you about AccuTrack, a revolutionary new way to track your inventory within retail stores without the need of camera, cords, or RFID tags. Now, before I do that, I want to talk to you about the problem that currently exists within the retail space that we're trying to solve with AccuTrack. Currently, 32% of shoppers experience out-of-stock inventory every single time they go to a store. This can range from internal to external theft to products just being misplaced. But the problem still exists that those people are 52% more likely to purchase a product online. A lot of times, we'll still at the store. This leads to $1 trillion being lost due to out-of-stock inventory just because a customer can't find the product they're looking to purchase. So how do we solve this problem of improper inventory management? We can solve it with AccuTrack. AccuTrack is the first ever real-time, no-hassle floor inventory control system that does not need cords, cameras, or RFID tags to track your inventory and can do it affordably. In fact, our AccuTrack units run on a 2-year battery life on just a watch battery, and our reader has up to a 2,100-foot range, allowing you to track your AccuTracks, most likely with just one reader in your entire store. And we're very excited about the fact that we're launching a 150-unit case study for AccuTrack this year, and our software for AccuTrack costs around $50 a month. Now, what does that software look like? Well, AccuTrack's real-time floor inventory control software will allow you to see your store like you never have before, ranging from current stock levels to monthly reports, all done in real time. It's easy to understand, has automatic planogram optimization suggestions, is bringing Amazon levels of inventory control to brick and mortar retail stores. And it's simple to integrate. Just scan the UPC code of the product, scan AccuTrack, and add it to your database. And this can be seen on any screen, from a phone, tablet, or a computer. Now, as AccuTrack is installed in your store, what's actually happening is there's a circuit board built into these retail store fixture products. Letting you know the levels that you have in stores of inventory, and when it's lowering and when it's raising, and can even send notifications of possible sweeping events and give you notifications of when products need to be restocked, so you don't have that problem of a customer not being able to find the product that they're looking for. You can even see levels per gondola of how much inventory is left there. Now, the competition ranges from everything from RFID tags to smart cameras to even robots now being incorporated in retail stores. But the biggest two competitors for us is AM Smart Shelf and New Wave Smart Inventory Management System. With AM Smart Shelf, they build an entire shelving system with built-in weight scale systems and artificial intelligence built into cameras. And New Wave Smart Shelf uses an actual RFID tag built into pushers. However, what makes AccuTrack better is the fact that AccuTrack is always active. With passive RFID tags, you can't know your inventory at all times. With AccuTrack, you can. AccuTrack also does not require any cords or RFID tags, which both these systems require. With cords, it limits the areas you can put products into. With AccuTrack, you can install it in any part of your store. AccuTrack has a much further range than these competitors as well, up to 2,100 feet. And AccuTrack is much more affordable than these alternatives, with AccuTrack units costing anywhere from $10 to $20 a unit. Now, of course, integration is very important for us too, with POS system and ordering systems, so you don't have that problem of just too late inventory anymore. Tracking from loading docks to purchasing, we can build that into our AccuTrack system to allow you to look at all the inventory moving throughout your store, or just provide you the raw data that you need from AccuTrack to know what you have on your storefront. A similar idea we can apply to CCTV systems. While camera systems are very effective in retail stores, they have a major issue of just being a deterrent and not actually always capturing when theft is occurring in that store. Using AccuTrack units, we can automatically flag sweeping events and have CCTV footage of that actually happening and timestamp that for you to look back onto later. And we're very excited about where we want to take AccuTrack with role-based access control. Role-based access control will allow employees to unlock AccuTrack units just using a mobile device that does not need to be connected to the actual hook. It will allow for an auditing trail of who's unlocked those units, what they unlocked, and when, and also make it so employees no longer have to carry around those cumbersome keys that they have for other things they're unlocking. And we're excited about the possibility of expanding this to mobile checkout, where actual customers of those stores can use their mobile device and purchase products directly off those locked AccuTrack units. Now, of course, we're building an ecosystem of products, not just a pusher system, not just a hook system. We plan to expand our products to all varieties of areas that need better tracking within retail stores. And we're very excited about the possibility of our liquid pad reader system, which will require no retail store fixture products, just a pad that you lay down on your shelf and a reader above it to track that inventory. And really, what we're trying to do here at DaVinci Industries is simplify your retail experience for the customer, for the employee, and for the retailer. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. We really like it simple.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Pijl, who will be showcasing their anti-fraud and frictionless authentication for mobile payments.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ziv Cohen, and I'm the CEO of Pijl. It's definitely a pleasure to be here today. Very exciting. Pijl specializes in boosting retail revenue. The simple question that comes up is, what is more important to you as a retailer? Is it preventing fraud? Is it improving your conversion rate by reducing friction? Or is it keeping your customers' privacy? We do it all. E-commerce and mobile commerce are skyrocketing before COVID, and of course also with COVID now, which is accelerating, and the volumes are just increasing, massively and rapidly. Now, in order to avoid fraud losses, what you need to do is add more and more security controls. But the more security controls you add, the more negatively you impacting your customers' experience, and you're risking in losing them due to, very high abandonment and dropouts. And that's definitely something that you would like to avoid. Now, what we did at Pijl, we designed and developed a solution which is tailored for you, for retailers. Very simple. Here's your app. Just connect your app to our box and get it all out of the box right away. Full control for all fraud losses, whether somebody stole the card, if it's transaction fraud, debit or credit card, account takeover, new account fraud, regardless of the use case, the system knows how to cover this very efficiently. 2 is the frictionless authentication. This is actually taking you to the next generation of authentication by smoothing the entire checkout and payment process so that we can reduce the friction and we can enable, a much better conversion rate without interfering with the checkout. 3 is the ease of integration. We made it so simple that only in a few hours, we can get you up and running, and you can already be fully protected and balanced between friction and avoiding fraud losses. Also detecting from day one, unlike traditional systems that need a very long time to collect data, to build profiles, and only after, even months sometimes, they're able to predict whether the next transaction is fraudulent or legitimate. In our case, we're talking about right away. As we switch the system on, you are protected. And the last part has to do with optimizing your entire operation. So the SMSs, the one-time passwords, shifting liability, investigating fraud cases, that's going to be optimized right away with the system. Let's look at what your customers are actually getting, what is their experience. So here is your app. Pijl is embedded inside your application, which means it's 100% transparent to your customers when they are shopping, buying, and paying. We analyze the 2 main factors. 1 is the device, 2 is the user's behavior. This is translated to 6 different intelligence sets, which look at which device it is, whether it's fraudulent or not, whether it's involved in any criminal activity or it's legit, whether the device is in the hands of a fraudster or a real customer. What is the behavior of this person? How do I hold my phone usually, with my left hand or right hand? What's the pressure that I put on the screen? How fast do I scroll? What's the size of my finger? And all my other physiological characteristics that represent me as an individual. And based on that, we can detect and identify that this is really your customer and a legitimate one and not somebody else. Looking at the application and correlating lots of information, which gives us insights about the probability for fraud or not. And of course, also analyzing the spending habits of each and every one of the customers. So where do I shop? What's the product, the time, the amount, the location, etc. and the simple and final decision or outcome that you're getting from the system is either risky or safe, as simple as that, so that you can accept or reject a transaction without being concerned of losing money or losing a customer. Three aspects are fully embedded in the system. One is privacy. So we adhere to all the privacy regulations, which is a key. Two, we only use data permitted by your customers. So there is no privacy breach whatsoever. It's all encrypted end to end so that the data, again, cannot be altered or compromised. And it's all real time. So just in a few milliseconds, you're getting the response back so that you can make the decision before the transaction is even processed and approved. So these are the values that you're getting from Pijl right away. Your revenue will increase. Two, fraud and friction will decrease dramatically. We're talking about numbers of 90% and more. And three, your operational cost will decrease as well as a result of, using the system. Now, this is just a snapshot of a few of the companies, that rely on Pijl, and you as a retailer, you can definitely join them and benefit from all the values of the system. Before we wrap up, what I want to do is I want to show you the system in action. So whatever I explained, that's exactly what you can expect to get when implementing the Pijl system. So here's my mobile device. And Pijl already knows me. So it's inside my phone, inside my application, my shopping application. When I open the application, I just sign in with my username. Yep. All right, I'm in. Now I'm gonna buy something nice. Let's see. The system is now analyzing the device and me as a user. And as you can see, my transaction was instantly approved right away. I did not receive an SMS. I wasn't even asked to put my PIN code or password or fingerprint, nothing whatsoever. 100% frictionless and safe. Now, let's assume that Katie here is a fraudster, and Katie has managed to, steal my credentials, and now she's trying to spend my money. Katie, please go ahead and try to spend my money with Pijl protecting me.
Okay, I'm going to start my share, and I know we're out of time here, so I'm going to be quick. You can see I'm on screen logging in. Gonna try and buy this. Rejected.
That's exactly what you can expect to get from Pijl. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zev. And good thing Katie is not a fraudster. For our next pitch, we have Third Eye, who will be presenting on how to detect theft and alert your employees in real time.
Hi everyone, I'm Raz, CEO of Third Eye, and at Third Eye, our mission is to help retailers cut theft in their stores. So over the last few years, we've been lucky enough to work with some of the biggest retailers in the world. One of our earliest customers was Sainsbury's. They're the second largest retailer in the UK, and we've just spent 18 months with them co-developing, optimizing, and finally rolling out our product. And today I'm really excited because for the first time, I can actually share the results of what we did together publicly. So here it is. In every aisle that Third Eye was installed in at Sainsbury's, we reduced theft by up to 50%. 50%. That represented an annual ROI for them of 5x, and that was just over the first year of installation. So hopefully you're wondering now how we did that. AI software that detects concealment on your existing CCTV cameras. We've basically solved a problem that's almost as old as retail itself. Anytime someone walks into a store and takes an item and hides it from you, they will be detected. Third Eye's concealment detector detects when someone takes an item and puts it in their bag or puts it in their pocket. And it is really clever. It won't flag up anyone who puts a phone in their pocket or an item in their trolley. It is genuinely clever and can tell the difference. Once we see that alert, we send it in real time to your staff members or your security guards. They'll get a small 4-second clip where they can see the concealment happening and they can decide whether it's a false positive or whether they should do something about it. The great thing is our UI is super simple and super fast. So they can do the entire theft to reviewing the alert process within 5 seconds. This is an entire new way of working. So once you install Third Eye, you can throw away your CCTV wall and never have to see it again. And another great thing about it is in the current climate, apprehending people with data has become more and more important. So your security guards can always be backed up that they stopped someone because they saw them conceal an item, not because of how they look. And finally, a little side benefit of Third Eye is we found that when you deter someone in the aisle, at the point of theft, we actually find the chances of violence goes down as well. So we've just seen when you stop someone at an exit and there's an audience watching, you're just more likely to get violence. So Third Eye can also cut violence as well as help you with your theft problem. So I'm going to play a small video which should explain it in a little bit more detail.
Take a look at this store. Can you see the thief? No? But Third Eye can. Game-changing AI technology allows businesses to stop crime in its tracks. Finally, deter shoplifters at the point of theft, reducing the chance of violence. Every incident is captured with live alerts, which every staff member can monitor from their smartphones. This is the world's first commercially available AI that spots suspicious concealments. Plug and play into most security camera systems, meaning that you no longer need to worry about expensive new system installment. And it doesn't end there. Third Eye's AI technology can help you throughout your entire store. From a queue detector to a stockout detector, and even a self-checkout theft detector, Third Eye's got you covered. Pre-order online and install in minutes at thirdeyelabs.com.
So the next thing I wanted to mention was how easy it is to install Third Eye. So you basically need 3 things. The first one is a processing unit. You can get that shipped directly from us, or you can use one of our partners such as Dell, who will do everything from hardware procurement to installation for you. We've built it so it's easy enough even for an independent gas station owner to install. So once you plug it in, it will search automatically for all your cameras, no need for IP addresses and all of that fiddly stuff. And you can then install it within 60 minutes from there. The second thing you'll need is our app. It works on iOS, it works on Android, it works on phones, it works on tablets. So you can pretty much integrate with whatever you have installed already or buy something for as little as $99. And finally, you have our dashboard. So once you've done the hard work installing, you can sit back, log into your online dashboard and just watch your guards deter more and more thieves every day. It's probably something only a loss prevention specialist can actually get really obsessed about, but it's really rewarding just seeing it working and seeing your job being done. The final thing I wanted to mention really quickly, just for 30 seconds, was another problem we're looking at. So during this COVID pandemic, retailers have been struggling to balance maximizing in-store occupancy and being safe for their employees. Normal people counting doesn't work because you just don't know whether everyone's in one place in the store or spread out evenly everywhere. So we've deployed for free on top of our existing software a system which will detect how many people are in the aisles, and then it will flag up either to your security guard or to an automated screen at the front whether it's safe to let in more people. So just to sum up quickly, Third Eye, we detect concealments on your existing security cameras. We can cut theft up to half, like we've done for customers like Sainsbury's. It can be installed within 60 minutes on your existing cameras. And we can also, in the future, maximize your occupancy and safety. If you want to find out more, you can visit our website. You can contact me directly. Thank you so much for listening. And we'd like to also thank RILA for setting up this opportunity.
Thanks, Ross. And like the pivot there and the focus on safety as well. For our final pitch, we have Scylla, who will be presenting on real-time video streams to predict violent behavior and identity theft act, or sorry, identify acts of violence. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Thanks, Mary.
No worries. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Mary with Scylla, and I'm going to be telling you why we're the world's best threat detection system. And our mission is empower the private security industry with next-gen AI solutions. Our vision is to be the market leader in AI solutions for private security operators. Now, I like to think of the authoring as necessary on-site in-store solutions. Scylla is a revolutionary security system developed based on AI, machine learning, and Scylla's goal is to detect and prevent crime and violence in public spaces using CCTV cameras. Scylla significantly reduces costs and adding a better understanding of blind spots and activity not previously detected by the naked eye. So what is the problem? Unreliable security. If you're familiar with the mass shooting of El Paso, Texas, the shooter was in the store for about 5 minutes. He was looking for targets. He then went back out to his car and got his weapon and started shooting in the parking lot as he made his way into the store. Now, this is exactly what Scylla is designed to help stop. As the suspect drew his weapon in the parking lot, Scylla would have notified security and police to respond. Due to COVID-19, we have new challenges that we're all facing that can't just be addressed with the PPE or shopping by appointment only. Our solution is a software offering that streamlines the major costs and hardware necessary, allowing for a completely contactless mass scanning for feverish employees or customers. Private security businesses have been deploying massive eyesores of hardware at entrances that do not give off a very commerce flow perception. With the use of the thermal software, thermal cameras and our software, Scylla all of this can be done seamlessly. So now the current solutions are inefficient and do not engage criminals in real time or prevent crimes from escalating further, which is very important. Misinformation results in the loss of valuable response time, and 24-hour monitoring is just very expensive to be able to maintain. So now we're going to have a look at a demo video that's going to be showing you some of Scylla's capabilities. I'm going to mute this so I can speak over it. So you'll be seeing some of Scylla's capabilities on not just our drone capability, but Scylla has been deployed at this location. Now we have suspects arriving here, and it looks like they're going to be robbing the store. Now he has a mask on. It'll also pick up the mask, the weapon as well. As you see, people were just having a regular day shopping, and weapons identified, and now you're going to be seeing the drone activated. Suspect is across the street. He has a record. It picks it up. Now this location had connected with the local police department in terms of the database, and you saw that the security team was not paying attention, unfortunately, until they got an alert to do so. And you'll be seeing the drone come into play now, and the drone will be following actually the vehicle and the suspects until the security team apprehends and stops them. We also have the vehicle identification tracking for the plates, and now it's going to be reading off the fact that this vehicle was actually reported stolen. So they will continue on their way and stop the criminals. Sorry about that. And so our accuracy rate is 99%. And in real time, Scylla uses artificial intelligence to be able to analyze the video feed in real time. So we provide a unique security mechanism which is unmatched in its accuracy and is deployed worldwide in over 5,000 locations. Our system seamlessly integrates into the existing security system without requiring any technical changes and additional costs. So Scylla then processes the acquired data to generate meaningful information about the activity contained in the video stream. And biometrics comes into play to identify suspects and track continuously and search the premises for known criminals, including identifying most wanted individuals, sex offenders, and missing persons nationwide, which as an aspect of many of the unfortunate challenges that retail locations face, especially malls. Using the database created by the client or the one that they have the access to, the local police department or the FBI, if they should have access to that. Scylla matches the results through our smart decision-making algorithm, Charon. Now, Scylla matches information as it processes with your existing database. Scylla does not store any of the data. We are GDPR and CCPA compliant. We do not identify humans. We use pattern matching to derive relevant information. Once confirmed, Scylla matches the results and distributes alerts in real time to law enforcement response units or your security team through our web and mobile channels. Scylla makes the camera surveillance environment real time, proactive instead of reactive. We are a SaaS business model. Customers can choose between cloud and on-prem installations. We charge per camera per month per license. And we detect behavior and firearms. So with COVID-19, all the shelter-in-place orders are starting to be gradually lifted. Businesses are looking for permanent solutions on how to reopen and have the preventive measures in place. Now, we all know that there's significant costs associated with this, especially with the black body components that come with the thermal cameras and the setup that goes with it. Our software is completely contactless and effective, cost-effective mass fever screening solution. So you'll be seeing this dashboard if you have the software on your network, and the camera here can actually allow it to be a thermal camera to be wall mounted. The Scylla software is picking up this individual strolling into work. He has a little bit of an elevated fever. So it's going to give you an alert, and the system's going to alert your security team or your HR team, whatever it is that you want to have in place. And intruder detection can be utilized in order to enforce social distancing. To help prevent acts of terrorism, Scylla tracks the movement and identifies rogue activity and individuals. It can help detect the use of suspicious items like cargo, unattended bags, and weapons. We are actually first on the market to have behavior recognition and physical fight alerting, identifying shoplifters and crowd violence. Scylla was first to combine all of these solutions into one. Now you're going to be seeing exactly what your dashboard would look like. Now in this situation, there's a weapon that's been drawn. The system processes it, identifies it, sends an alert to your security team. This is on their handheld in the situation, and it tells them what's going on. They have a visual understanding of what's going on screen. So in 2019, retail crime remained one of the most serious problems in the industry, as you all know better than I do. The inventory shrinkage cost the US retail industry over $45 billion each year. And I think that this year, unfortunately, those numbers are going to be significantly higher. Scylla is a great...
You need to go ahead and wrap it up if you want to.
Sure.
About 15
Sure,
seconds.
it's a great in-store solution. These are some of the rest of the offerings that we have. Vandalism and looting would be great. Mass detection post-COVID is also going to be very useful. Some of the customers that we have right now and some of the awards. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Really like the focus there on reducing false positives that we often see with a lot of these newer technologies.
Yes.
So thank you to all the finalists for those awesome presentations. It's great to see how each of you are reimagining AP for retail. The voting is now open on your screen, and we will transition to our Q&A. All right, so while the industry is casting their votes, let's talk a little bit more about innovation in our brief Q&A. So as I call each of your names, can each of you tell me what attracted your company to develop a solution for the retail industry? We'll start with Ziv.
Sure. So it became very clear to us that, everything is going mobile and all the customers use their mobile devices to shop and pay with. And as a result of that, of course, the existing security controls do not provide efficient, I would say, solution to address this balance between friction and fraud. So avoiding fraud losses and enabling a much better conversion rate, but at the same time also smoothing the entire process. And this led us to design and develop, the system that can provide exactly that, so that there will be no trade-off, between really boosting the conversion, reducing the friction, and at the same time doing all that without compromising privacy.
Thank you very much. Anthony, can you tell us what attracted your company to develop your solution?
Yeah, sure. So I actually grew up around the retail store fixture space. My grandfather started a company called Southern Imperial, which is the largest producer for hook systems and pusher systems in the country currently. But what I realized was that there was a lack of innovation in this space, and incorporating IoT technology here where it could be used in a very effective manner. So I wanted to incorporate technology that could better help track inventory within stores using already existing technology, but updating it to the 21st century.
Thank you. Mary, do you want to tell us about your company and what attracted you to the solution?
Sure. So the solution came to be with the founders working on a border project to help stop human trafficking and drug trafficking as well. And then they saw the need for, the commercial aspect of things because they were seeing all the unfortunate events transpire on the news with the mass shootings that tend to go on, and which are very unfortunate. And they saw why not help society and help the situation be mitigated in some manner and use this software in that way as well. So that was the driving force behind all of this.
Thank you. And last but not least, Roz, you want to talk to us what attracted your company?
Yeah, I mean, it was also a bit of a personal story for me. Like a tip, my dad had a retail store, small one, and it's just a problem I saw growing up. And when I went to university, I met my co-founder Peter, was doing a PhD as well in computer vision, and just kind of clicked from there. I knew this problem, seeing it growing up, and then I saw this amazing new technology being developed, and I just put one and one together.
That's great. All right, and we'll start with you this time, Roz, since you had to go last time. There's often challenges and delays in the development of new technology solutions in the retail environment. First, how long does it take relatively to deploy your solution in a store? And are there any best practices that you believe can help improve the speed of deployment in a retail setting?
Yeah, I think first you have to acknowledge that delays and it's just part of the game. If you're doing something big and amazing, it's never going to be easy. So it's always part of it. Our solution, we've worked really hard to get the time of installation down to about an hour. That was a big goal that we set ourselves at the beginning of 2019. Obviously, like when you're installing in a bigger company, there's always stakeholders and approvals and these sort of things to think about. But the actual installation is really quick. And in terms of how we can make it better, I guess it's just making sure, everyone who needs to be engaged within your company is on board and excited about what we're about to carry out. And then everyone just becomes really helpful around it.
You guys probably enjoy shorter requirements lists too as well.
Yeah. I mean, when a technology is really new, the list is really long because you don't really know what you need.
Yeah.
And then slowly, it takes a year or two of work, and you can get to a point where, okay, these are the really minimum things that we need, and that really does help our customers because, in the old days, it'd be like, oh, you need all of these things, and now it's much simpler.
Great, thanks. How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, similar to Roz, our system is very easy to set up, around 60 minutes. Really, you're just setting up the gateway and then however many units you're installing. If you're installing 200, can be done probably in 15 minutes. If you're installing 5,000, it's going to take a bit longer. But what we're also trying to do to make it simpler for retailers too is also make sure that staff at the store understand the new technology that's being put in place, because they're going to be interacting with it too. They want to understand how it works. So really making sure that the staff understands what's being done. And to really make it easier, what we're really trying to do is make it all cellular. Right now, we hook into an Ethernet port that would have to be in the store, but we're actually moving to making everything cellular and a standaway system that does not need to interact with the store in any way, so it can be standalone on its own.
That's great for pilots. All right, Ziv, how about you?
Yeah, also here, I mean, it's super easy and super fast compared to legacy, systems. And I've been in this space for more than 20 years now. Most of the, online anti-fraud and cybersecurity systems are quite cumbersome, and it takes time for them to integrate and become effective. In our case, it's just a matter of a few days. You're up and running. The retail is up and running, fully operational. It's all done by our team. So from that perspective, it's, again, super easy.
Thank you. And last but not least, Mary?
So assuming that everything is up to date on site and, some locations haven't been updated since the 80s, unfortunately, or like the late 90s, depending on the infrastructure and the existing networks that they have there. So typically speaking, let's say if we have 40 cameras that we're installing, that could take up to 4 hours, sorry. And assuming we have access to the network and VPN, that can be done remotely, or if otherwise we can ship the system out on site and have a team there, which we work with a number of teams across the nation. So we can have anybody in Arizona, anybody in Nevada do the installation on our behalf, and they're all certified through our company. So it's just a matter of understanding what it is that you need for your exact location.
Awesome. And we'll stick with you, Mary, on the second to last question. The retail landscape is rapidly changing. Do you have any near future development plans or functionality enhancements for your solution?
Yes, we're working on a number of advancements at the time, and we're just, monitoring a lot of the news and understanding what it is ahead of the curve of what you would need, and trying to be able to kind of meet demand right before and as it becomes existent.
Great. How about you, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, so a good example of us reacting fast is this COVID product that we recently gave out for free. We're always looking to expand our product range. We're working on it, but I do think it's important as a smaller company to really focus on one thing and make sure you do it right before focusing on a million new things. So we're quite focused at the moment, just getting these two things out.
I feel you on that one. Ziv?
Yeah, well, fraud is all about a cat and mouse game. So we always need to stay ahead of the fraudsters. They're also quite sophisticated and smart guys. So, we keep innovative and coming up with new countermeasures to ensure that we can actually stop them, before they manage to steal money and cash out successfully.
Thank you. And last but not least, Anthony.
Yeah, so kind of like what Ross says, we're really focused on what we have now, but we do have big goals to incorporate, as I mentioned in my presentation, the role-based access control, because many retail stores do want to have some version of mobile checkout where you don't have to engage an employee, you don't have to engage with another system, and it just makes life easier if you're going into that store and looking to pick up one item and not going into the store to purchase over like 20 items.
Great. Okay. Before we wrap up, I want to go around back through the list, and we'll start with you, Anthony. If our attendees today would like to know more, and I know some of you have shared it in your pitch about your solution, how is the best way to interact with your team?
Yeah, so I mean, in my presentation, I showed my email, which is anthony@DaVinciIndustries.com. Perfect way to email me. Otherwise, you can go to our website and request a demo of our product on there as well.
That's great. How about you, Ziv?
Very similar. So can either contact info@pijl.com or on our website. There's just a form, that can be filled out, and one of our representatives will just call them back and reach out.
Great. And Roz?
Yeah, so anyone on the RILA network is more than welcome to reach out to me directly, raz@thirdeye.io. If you don't want to talk to me, you can fill out a form on the website, thirdeyelabs.com.
Thank you. And Mary?
Great way to contact us is info@scylla.ai or mary@scylla.ai.
All right. Awesome. So I will turn it back over to Katie.
Thank you everyone for joining today. You'll get an email with the recording, and for anyone who was not able to join, any of your colleagues, they will be able to access the recording and vote additionally for that 2-week period. So thank you again for joining, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.